I'm sorry. What's your intro, though? We need an intro.
Just say, welcome to the Game Speed podcast. I'm your host, Kadre, and with my brothers, CJ and Chris.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what you're
That's
saying. You're the
incredible.
host, brother.
You have to run that. Run that back.
It's such hilarious.
All right, well, I'll do it. I'll do it. Hold on.
Could you
Let me
be
just.
shy now, bro? I have to watch this, bro. Oh,
Chris, you
Lord.
recording? We're good?
Yeah, I'm recording right now.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, guys, welcome to the Game Speed podcast, the very first episode. I'm your host, CJ, with my brothers, Chris and Kadre. Chris, how you doing, man?
I'm good, brother. How are you doing?
Oh, awesome, bro. That's good to get this show on the road. And we're
Yep,
here with
yep.
Kadre, as I mentioned. Kadre, how you doing?
Not much, man. I'm just chilling, man. Ready to get it on.
All right, let's not waste any more time. So this is the very first episode of the podcast. I think it's only right we tell the people what we do or why we came to this idea of starting a podcast.
Yeah.
Kadre, man, like what did you do? You hit me up and said you wanted to do this. So give me the breakdown, man. What happened?
Talk to the
Yeah,
people.
man. Chris and I have been just, going back and forth talking about basketball.
Yep,
The
yep.
other day we had a conversation about trying to break down some basketball film just to try to get into our bag about the game, and
Yeah, we
learn
just
more.
love the
So
game.
we was like, you know what? Yo, let's go on air, man. Let's talk about it with everybody. Let's talk about it with the world. And I mean, hopefully, we can get some guests on here with some, with some experience, and they can dive in too. So we was like, yo, let's do this.
True, true. Chris, why
Well,
do you want to do
well,
a podcast on basketball, man? What
well,
do you got to say
me,
about that?
me and Kadre, we were just talking about basketball. Yo, this is hard. Basically, we're just talking about basketball. Watch, how did this actually start, man? I don't know. I just
Well,
love the
okay.
game.
Well,
Basically,
well,
I didn't even really used to watch basketball back in the day. I won't lie, but like nowadays, the game is just so interesting. Like these days, the East and West so balanced. There's just a multitude of teams. It's just wow these days. You know what I mean? And then I heard your
facts.
controversial take about Ben Simmons and the Philly trade. I just said, yo, we got to get this guy. We got to make a podcast.
Facts. So yeah, so for those who don't know, yeah, we constantly have dialogue about basketball. That's pretty much the main content of our group chats and conversations with one another. And we got to,
Yeah.
first of all, it started with the Ben Simmons, Brooklyn Nets, Philadelphia
Yeah.
76ers trade.
Yeah.
You two brothers said that the Brooklyn Nets won that trade, right?
No,
That's
Am I
that's how
I
I
correct?
feel. That's how I feel.
no, I think
Okay,
Philly. I think Philly won that trade, but I think
okay.
they gave up just a little too much.
I agree with you, Chris, that Philly won the trade. I don't think they gave up too much, actually, in hindsight. At first, I did say that, but now that
Yeah,
I've seen
hindsight,
I've
yeah,
seen the product
maybe.
on the court.
You can't switch up now that you saw a couple
Yeah,
games.
this
Don't
guy's
do
trying to
that.
switch up now.
Don't
What's
do
wrong with this
that.
guy, bro? I
No,
said in hindsight. Yeah.
I
Holy.
was I was slightly concerned about Philadelphia's depth, and then I realized, oh shoot, they have Maxi, who's playing phenomenal right now,
Yeah,
great third option, and they still have Tybull, who's a good 3-and-D defender. They got a lot of 3-and-D guys that I didn't
yeah.
realize they had. So I feel like they're all right. Only thing is,
What's your
maybe
concern? Talk to me.
the center position, man. They got to find somebody. They just signed DeAndre Jordan, right?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Correct. So I feel like maybe he'll kill a lot of minutes and keep Joel Embiid healthy for the final 10 to 13 games,
yeah,
Yeah.
and then the playoffs they can unleash Joel Embiid, a healthy MVP Joel Embiid. I think
yeah.
he's the key to them winning a championship. If he's a little bit dinged up or hurt, it's not
Yeah.
looking good.
That makes
It's not
sense
looking
actually.
good. Yeah. So, Kadre, tell me why do you think Brooklyn won the trade?
Oh man. Okay. I gotta just give a little quick shout out to Kevin Durant. Just puts on a clinic anytime he's out there playing basketball. It's really just
Oh,
something.
facts.
It's
Facts.
special to
he's
watch.
he's
Um,
prolific.
I mean, I think they like we were kind of touching on, but they won the trade because they kind of squeezed as much as they could get out of Philly to help them with their depth because they got the Kyrie situation and now we see this Ben Simmons situation with like, when's he gonna come back? He's afraid of Philly. Is he not afraid of Philly? We don't know what's going on, but so they were able to get Seth, Dre, um, obviously Ben, and the first round, if I'm not mistaken, first round
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah, I
So I
think
mean,
so.
I feel like they really squeezed the deal, and I
Yeah.
mean, we got to give it some time to see how it plays out. But just in terms of like a matchup with the trade, I feel like, bro, Brooklyn won. It's easy. It's easy to say that Brooklyn won. They got more.
Okay. Okay. Chris?
I see what you're saying, but the thing is, I think it's actually balanced if you think about it. I think they both won, maybe. I can't say one team, won than the other one, you know what I mean? I think they both got what they needed, to be honest. And like yeah,
Uh,
I think Philly had to give up, those pieces, to be honest.
yeah, they
Just,
did. They did. I'll just say this. I'll just say this. I think that this trade comes down to, okay, two things actually. First of all, I'm a big component or a proponent for whoever gets the best player in the trade wins the trade. So
yeah.
James Harden is the best player in that trade. Philly wins that trade. Now, if they don't win it this year, they still have a great building block, probably the best building blocks in the league to
Yeah.
build around and win a championship within the next 2 to 3 years before my man Joel Embiid's needs go out. Oh, God forbid. Um,
Hopefully not. Yo, don't say those type of things, bro.
God forbid.
Joel Embiid's one
But
of the best big men, bro. You can't be shortening his career, bro. What's
God
wrong with this
forbid, God
guy?
forbid. The second thing is, and I think is actually more important, is we know the Brooklyn Nets are going to make it deep into the playoffs. I just think
Yo,
that
whoa,
with Ben Simmons,
one sec. You think they're gonna make it deep into the playoffs?
they're going to make it deep. They're going to make it to the conference finals.
Oh
If they
nah.
don't meet Philly before then. Um,
I, who
my
do you think
thing
they beat
is, and I'm
though?
gonna anybody else but Philly. Don't beat anybody else but Philly. My thing is though, and I have to preach this. Ben
Wait,
Simmons,
one second. You think they're gonna beat the Bucks?
I believe they're gonna beat the Bucks. Yeah,
Ah,
I believe they're gonna beat the Bucks.
the only thing with them, I think, it's health issues. If they stay healthy, yeah, I think so too. Actually,
You mean Philadelphia?
no, I'm talking about Nets. If Nets stay healthy, they'll beat Bucks.
The one thing is, man, Ben Simmons. I know everybody's saying, yo, he's gonna be the Draymond Green of the team and everything like that. I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
think you guys understand who Draymond Green is. Okay? I
Nah, I
don't
don't
think the
think you
people
understand who
understand
Ben Simmons
what
is, bro.
he's no Draymond Green. Not even close.
Yeah.
What Golden State's what, like under 500 since he's been injured.
Yeah,
Like
that's true.
the guy's IQ. Honestly, it's his heart for the game. Like he plays with such ferocity, such tenacity.
Yeah,
It's
that's
hard to
true.
match. Now you take Ben Simmons. Have you ever in your career said, "Yo, Ben Simmons plays with ferocity and tenacity"? You never said that in your life. You
Wow,
know.
that's a good point,
So
actually.
you know what I'm saying. But he does have the skills and the size to do it. It's just the mental mindset and the mental
So you're
makeup.
questioning his
I
love for
think
the game, basically, huh?
not even that, man. It's just how much does he want it?
Yeah, that's his love
How
for the
much does he
game.
want to be a champion? That's all.
Hot take.
What's that?
That's interesting.
Hot take.
Yeah. But when you think about it too, like he's had that reputation follow him throughout his career. Remember at LSU when he was in college, he was supposed to be one of the
Oh
premier
wow,
players, and yeah, he lived up to the
he's
hype
going to back to
individually,
college
but
days,
his
yeah.
individual success didn't equal team success. And at one point, I feel like if I serve correctly, my memory serves me correctly, he gave up on LSU, didn't he? Didn't he not play a final like few games of that of his college career?
I'm gonna need
I
to fact check that.
yeah, I can't
I
recall.
believe
I'm
I
not,
believe he did. I believe he said, "Yo, I'm draft ready. I'm out," which I don't blame him because obviously at the end of the day, you're trying to go pro, you're trying to make money, you got to invest in your body. So I get that, but it was like, it's showing signs and cracks in the mental aspect of Ben Simmons. That's all I got to say about that,
that
man.
I agree with that take, to be honest. Yeah. Brooklyn fan, you have anything to rebuttal or what?
I
Kadre feels
mean,
like you had something to say. Go ahead, man.
There's
I just
something
gotta
on your
chime in
chest.
a little bit and just really talk about Brooklyn and how I see them putting it all together when it comes down to it.
Don't just say
Um,
KD, bro. KD's not gonna win it by himself.
we already know what KD's capable of. He almost beat the Bucks by himself last year. That's fact.
Facts.
Um, but then we have a special brother in Kyrie Irving. And
Wow.
if my memory serves me correctly, CJ, he just dropped 50 the other day.
Oh, yep. Your memory's
So,
right, buddy.
And
so
efficient 50.
exactly.
What? Can we get a
So
stat check on that one or what?
I think he shot 75% from the field.
Oh
15 for
my
19,
god.
9 for 12 from three.
Yo, that's
So that just shows you how
ridiculous.
prolific that brother is at 6'2".
Mm.
And I know personally, being at around 6'2", that's almost impossible to do. So speaking from experience. Um, but the thing is, I'm not gonna like your point about Draymond Green and Ben Simmons. You're completely correct. Like Draymond is on a different planet. Like Draymond is, man. We were just talking about his defense is impeccable. Like how he
Mm.
can help send you to help, and then close out and lock down the best player. It's ridiculous.
It's
Um, but
crazy.
I think, but I think Ben Simmons. I think we were talking about it the other day. Brooklyn is lacking defensive presence right now.
Yeah, I agree with
They
that.
really just got like Dre, who's on the interior. I don't know. Is Bembry still there? I don't know if he's still there, but
I don't
No,
think
I
so.
think I think he was shipped out on the trade too.
yeah.
I,
So they losing their perimeter defense. There's nobody
yeah,
really out
dude.
there. Is like, yo, I fear this guy. You know what I mean? And
They're just
not to
trying to
say like
outscore
Kyrie and
men's.
KD. Yeah, Kyrie and KD are solid defenders, but they'll step it up in the playoffs. That's when they know they need to step up. So I feel like Ben Simmons brings that, yo, I'm gonna lock up James Harden. I'm gonna go lock up Giannis. I'm gonna take the best player on the next team and give KD and Kyrie so say, yo, just focus on the offensive end, bring us home. And I feel like he balances out exactly what they need and why they're gonna make a run come playoff time. So I mean, I I mean on paper, we're looking at it from paper because he hasn't played yet, but you look at his attributes, the way he can fit into the team, it meshes perfectly when I look at it. It's all about Steve Nash doing his job and making sure that that happens. And for them, they got to win a ring. Period.
Fact. One
Period.
last question. One last question on this. Do you feel like Ben Simmons' mental, or sorry, offensive defects will hinder his ability to play on the court, especially in the fourth quarter or deep in playoff runs for the Brooklyn Nets? Or do you think they can mask that in some way?
You know what? I think the reason why he struggled with Philly, it was people looked at him to score the basketball when that's not his strength. Especially in Philly, where Embiid was the only other guy who's like, I can get my own. They looked at Ben Simmons to get his own as well. And Ben Simmons like, yo, I'm not that type of player.
True.
So now with Katie and Kyrie, he can kind of float back into that third option and be like, hey, fast break, let me go dunk quick. You know what I mean? And like
Hmm.
there's no pressure on him to now to be an offensive threat. Just fit within. Pass the ball, do what you do, play make. You know what I mean? So I
Hmm.
Yeah.
think he, like you said, it's gonna be about his mentality at the end of the day. If Ben Simmons, I think when we seen Ben Simmons lock in, it's scary. We're talking about defensive player of the year candidate last year. Okay?
True.
Fans
Yeah.
didn't know how to get over half court. You see the footage.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
that's the Ben Simmons we're gonna get, man, I'm not worried. But like you said, man, we'll see. You know what? In fact, we'll see tonight how he deals with being in Philly on the bench.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a great barometer of how his mental makeup is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see tonight. Chris, any final take on
Um,
that topic here?
I think if the Nets could, I believe that if Ben plays a five on the Nets, they're gonna go down in history. If he accepts that role as a big man, lob option, pick and roll, I think it's gonna be spectacular. Absolutely,
Okay.
that's my hot take. You heard it here first.
I like that. I like that.
Wow. Okay, that's
Yeah,
I
saying
like
something.
that.
That would be pretty cool to see Ben versus like Joel.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Of
and I
course.
think he could hold his own. I think at the center position, and they love
Uh,
switching, right? Nets love switching.
I don't know if he can hold his own against Joel with being
Well, no one can guard
alone.
Joel, man. Come on, Joel is a phenomenon.
I think
But you
he's the
know
only
what?
exception. Like he's the only problem in the East. But otherwise, any other team in the East, he can play. He
Yeah,
can guard the fives.
yeah. And they're
True,
gonna
true.
switch to KD could hold his. I think it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so who do you guys think is gonna win tonight's game? Brooklyn Nets or the Philadelphia 76ers?
I gotta go with my Philly. Those guys are just
Philly?
amazing. Two
Okay.
isolation players surrounded by 3 and D. It's like, hey, Roy, it's like you're playing 2K out there, bro. Come on.
Like, like this is kind of gonna contradict what I just said, but I'm gonna have to go with Philly tonight. Tonight, tonight, tonight.
Bro, Kyrie just dropped
The
50, but
way
where's that energy?
no. Like the thing is, right now, it comes down to the fact that you're playing in Philly. It's gonna be a hostile environment for Ben. Um, you know what I mean? And
Is
Philly is
Ben
rolling right now. Like, you know what I mean? James Harden he found his step back. All of a sudden, he left. You know, he's found it. You know, Embiid is playing at superstar Hall of Fame level. Like, they got it going for them. So, you know, and I think Katie. I mean, sorry, I always say Katie when I refer to the Nets because he's the team.
Wow.
The Nets, they just won their first game after losing like a bunch in a row. So there's not a lot of faith over there right now.
Yeah.
All
We
right,
have a
We'll
real
see tonight.
we have a real Brooklyn fan over here, huh?
We shall see tonight. So we started off with a pretty serious topic. Let's downshift to the gear. Um, let's talk about our favorite teams and why. Or should we talk about overall all time or just like
I
this
think we say
season?
right now.
Let's go with your 3 top teams right now in the NBA.
3 top teams right now in the NBA. Chris, you want to start us off?
I would have to say top 3. I would have to go 76ers in my first. Second,
Okay.
I would probably say the Suns. The Suns are just too deep. And third is gonna be a hot take, but I'm gonna say Houston. Houston, some games they're actually very entertaining. Just because you heard it here first again. Sangoon is gonna be a stud. He's an absolute all-star. Did you see him last night? He was posting up
Yeah, he
LeBron
played pretty
baby
well.
hook.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! And then he blocked him on the other end. Yo, holy yo, that
You're
kid's
talking about a team that's not going to be in the playoffs.
yeah.
That
But
Houston.
that's why I put it as third.
Sorry.
You
You
know,
meant like Hakeem Olajuwon, Houston,
no,
or
no, this you said Jalen Green, Josh Christopher, Sangoon, Schroeder, those guys. You know about those guys or not?
I mean, maybe you're caught up in the fact that they beat the Lakers last night. I don't know.
Do you
But
know about Kevin Porter Jr.?
I'll give you that, Chris. He's entertaining to watch. I'm not gonna lie.
But the thing is, they just don't win games. They actually keep it close though. Like sometimes they get fooded. Just you know,
I don't-
sometimes they can't make shots, but you know they're young. But I think
TJ,
once
we
they
got
I got Chicago Bulls.
no
DeMar
Chicago's
DeRozan.
fake. Chicago's fake.
DeMar
I'm telling you,
Uh,
Chicago's fake. Did you watch the Hawks game? I think it was a week or so ago.
yeah, they played 2 games against the Hawks, right, last week?
Yeah, bro, they literally left DeAndre Hunter on him 1-on-1. He couldn't score in the fourth.
Okay, I'll give them a pass from their last few games just because Alex Caruso's not playing.
Yeah.
And Lonzo Ball. Those 2 guys defensively, they're taking away 20 points from every team.
Yeah.
Just between those 2 guys, all right? Especially on the perimeter.
limited
Um,
offense.
Yeah, I have faith in the Chicago Bulls. I feel like they should finish within the conference semifinals. So, and they're entertaining to watch. I just like seeing
Yeah.
DeMar DeRozan operate in the post. You know, in the mid-range game is just
I
beautiful.
would say
Zach,
DeMar DeRozan is modern day Michael Jordan. Hot take.
that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot. But it's comparable. I see the comparisons.
Yeah.
You know, you got the high flying Zach LaVine. Vucevic is one of my favorite players to watch as well. The way he's just so efficient in the post. Sticking with big guys that are efficient in the post, I gotta go with the Denver Nuggets. I love watching Jokic.
Oh yeah, Jokic is
The
amazing.
passing is just ridiculous. By the way, you guys see that pass the other day? Where he was just throwing the ball to the corner. Oh my gosh!
I missed it. I didn't see that.
That was. I watched that like 30 times. I'm like, how did he see that guy? And I love how they cut that highlight off at the catch because he didn't make the shot. But Denver Nuggets is probably is my team to watch. And then I go with Dallas Mavericks. I like watching Luka Doncic.
Mhm.
And I really like the trade they made with Spencer Dinwiddie.
Yeah.
I feel like that gives them a secondary or third ball handler to really, you know, do that heliocentric isolation offense I like to run. and it's nice to watch.
I have a question for you though. Do you think Spencer
Yeah.
Dinwiddie is gonna be locked up in the playoffs? Do you think he's gonna be able to do the same things he's doing right now, or
The, okay, I'm a huge fan of that 20. I think it's 2019, 2018 Brooklyn Nets team with Dinwiddie and
yeah,
Karis LeVert.
D'Angelo Russell. Yeah,
yeah,
there is no locking up. There's no locking up Dinwiddie when he's healthy, when when he's healthy and he's ready. There's no locking up Dinwiddie. I'm sorry. He's one of those. Listen, he's a very sleek 6'6". Like people don't realize how tall he is. All
really?
right, extremely quick. He can get to the basket at will. He's one of those guys.
So you
Dinwiddie,
would consider him
I
a
love
scorer,
his
is what
game.
you're saying?
What's that?
I said, would you consider him a scorer?
Yes, he is. He is a scorer,
Interesting.
scorer, slasher.
Because
Spencer Dinwiddie.
someone else in this call told me he would get absolutely locked up in the playoffs. Do you have any rebuttal here, buddy?
Okay, I'm just gonna put this out. First of all, Dallas is a fraud. They haven't figured out they haven't figured out how they're gonna build around Luca. They're just trying to find these temporary pieces.
You know they're
So
on a seven game win streak
I
or
don't know
so.
what he's doing over there. I don't know what he's doing over there. But only thing I'll say about Dallas, my boy Jalen Brunson, keep hooping. I love your game.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
I keep tuning into my boy sends me a Devin in the lab with Jalen Brunson
yeah,
breakdown footage, and it's just amazing at 6
just
feet what he's
wow.
able to do, man.
This
Like, yo, this is
package.
ridiculous. But aside from
Facts.
that, like I don't see their second option being good enough to go make a deep run, and that's my problem. This is just not good enough.
No,
And Spencer Dinwiddie is he's sometimey to me.
I agree with you. They're not gonna make a deep run. I just like watching them play. I just like watching Luka Doncic. That heavy duty step back he has every single time is just
Where do you
phenomenal.
think they finish in the playoffs?
It's probably a first round exit, to be honest.
First
Yeah.
round.
Yeah.
Oh, they had a good run. That's it. We can shut it down there.
Yeah.
Do you know who you're potentially gonna face for
um,
the first round?
They'll probably face the Jazz. I think the Jazz are fourth right now.
Oh, you don't think?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hard matchup actually.
Yeah, Rudy Gobert is just locking on the paint.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got some good 3-and-D guys too on Utah as well, so
Yeah.
they'll make it tough.
um,
Dre, what are your three teams, Dre?
number one, KD.
Bro, you're actually disrespecting the Nets, man. Can you say Nets instead of KD, man? I know KD's good, but like, yo, these guys are professional basketball players. Man, put some respect on your name. It's not
Oh,
no
man,
why I'm saying me, you.
No, I'm just really a big fan of how he puts the ball in the basket. But all
Yeah.
jokes aside, I'm looking forward to them putting it all together and making a run. I think it's gonna be special. Number two, I got my guys out there in Golden State. They're also in a
Oh
similar
yeah,
situation where they've got to put it together too to really get the rhythm right before the playoffs. And I think it's all aligning with Draymond coming back.
yeah.
No Wiseman, but I think they got the pieces to get it done.
What
With
are
a
your
bunch of
thoughts about
guys that are out.
Klay Thompson right now?
You know the thing I love about the Warriors? Steve Kerr went out and got every man between basically 6'5" and 6'10" that are just versatile and said, "Yo, go hoop. We switch everything. Draymond,
Yeah.
anchor the defense. We're good."
Tell them where to go, yeah.
So it's literally like it's an amazing system, and anybody who's just willing-minded, fits right in. Like Otto Porter, perfect to implement him in there. Andrew Wiggins, all-star. You know what I mean? So they got the pieces. They're gonna be good come playoff time. And then my last take. Let's go on over to the FedEx Center, man. Let's climb up the chimney because we want all the smoke. All right, Ja Morant. All right,
That's a
that
good
kid
one.
is special.
Yeah.
All right, that's them boys, man. I heard they talk the most trash in the league, and they want all the smoke. So you know, when it
Do
comes
they
to
actually?
playoff time, they ain't gonna back down from anybody. They're gonna pull up to your door, and they're gonna make sure that they bring the fight to you. They bring the dog. All right, and I feel like for some reason I'm getting the Tony Allen back in the Memphis vibes, the Zach Randolph vibes. You know what I mean? It's just
The Grit and Grind team.
let's go. Let's go under a hoop. Desmond Bain,
Yeah.
let's go. And hopefully they get Dylan Brooks. That's going to be key for them to do something
Yeah.
special. So, you know,
How
I'm
do you
looking
think
forward to it.
Dylan Brooks is gonna fit in with Bane playing as well as he is right now?
I mean, I think I was talking to you about this the other day, but hopefully they slide him down. I like Bane in the starting lineup and put
Yeah.
Dylan, at the 2 or the 3, so they can play off of each other and let John Morant run the show, man. Everybody, I believe they all believe they're in his backpack, and they're gonna trust him to lead. And John Morant's special, man. This is a rising superstar in our league, so it's gonna be special to see what he does in the next couple of years, because this guy, man. I mean, I'm talking Derrick Rose MVP type of vibes. All right.
Derrick Rose.
And special shout out to Jaren Jackson on that team. He's really stepped up anchoring the defense. He's made them one of the best defensive teams in the league. So shout out to
Mm-hmm.
Jaren Jackson. Who
Do
else
they
they have at
actually?
center? I feel like they're missing somebody.
Steve
Is
Adams,
it Steven
anchoring it down
Adams?
there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's solid,
yeah.
man. That's the pieces.
Do they actually talk bearish on the court though, or is that facts?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's facts.
you got to go back to one of my greatest, my favorite, not my greatest, one of my favorite references is the Lakers game. LeBron got mad at Memphis because they came in there and they whooped him and they kept talking at him.
I never knew that, to be honest. That's
Yo,
hilarious.
LeBron was mad, yo. Yeah, the Memphis boys, they don't care who, they don't even know who's top 75 of all time. They just trying to talk. They just trying to hoop. Yeah, that's what I
That's
love about
they're,
them.
they're too young to know any better, huh?
Yeah, they don't know anything, so they're
Yeah.
just like, "Yo, what do you mean? It's my league too. Let's go. Let's hoop. Let's go."
Yo, I have a question for you guys. Do you think the referees these days are ruining the league?
Here you go.
I couldn't tell.
I feel like at the beginning of the season they went back to like old school rules where they let the game play out and they weren't calling as much fouls. I feel like now they've reverted back to like 2019 basketball where everything's a foul
Yeah,
again.
Yeah.
The
but
league just has to be more consistent. I feel like the refs are just a product of whatever the league wants. The
but
league
like
just has to be more consistent.
I'm not really talking about like fouls. I'm talking about like technicals. Like, did you see the technical on KD the other day?
Yeah. That was an interesting one. That was a very interesting because it should have just been an offensive foul to me
Yeah,
instead of a technical. So I think the it's hard because I think what they do in the summertime is they try to implement these things that they want to be hard on come the beginning of the season, and
yeah,
then there's a lot of going back between the organizations and the referee association about like, hey, like, yo, this is a foul or this is this, and then they got it, like C just said, they revert back to their old ways. So it's
yeah.
it's tough, man. Like I don't really like to get on the referees because they're trying to do their best job. At least I believe that, and it's hard, man. Like imagine if you were a ref, man. Like you got Joel Embiid yelling at you, yo, call the foul.
Yeah.
Yo, you
But like not
you
even
call the
like
foul.
I'm not really talking about like fouls in general. I'm talking about like technicals, letting like people bark at each other, stare down, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like
The
it's
one thing
way
I'll say
more.
is the one thing I'd say is like, okay, yeah, they call the little soft technicals during the regular season. Like, who cares? It's the regular season. It is what it
Yeah,
is. But I feel like in the playoffs, they do let the guys go. Like, they let their emotions run and they don't call as many technicals. So I feel like when
uh,
basketball really counts and mans are trying to win championships, they let them
yeah.
play. So I don't have no
Uh,
problem with it. I feel the refs are good.
I see.
Yeah, man.
All right, yeah, let's keep it moving, man. So Kadre, you talked about it a little bit already with the Memphis Grizzlies as far as their approach goes. Is that your favorite team when it comes to their approach to the game?
Definitely right now.
Yeah.
Definitely right now. It just kind of reminds me like of when I was a kid playing in the backyard, and I didn't know anybody's resume when I was going to the YMCA. Like I didn't know, this guy played NCAA or this guy played Division 2, like Division 1, G League. Like I didn't know any of that. I went in there, I was like, yo, I'm the best player. I'm gonna show you why.
Bro,
Let me
don't
hoop.
lie. You knew if someone was D1 or not, bro. Don't lie to the people, bro.
No, I didn't.
I
To be
literally
honest,
gave you the scouting report back in the days. I said, yo, this guy
Chris,
D1, he
I've
can
played
hoop,
ball.
yo. You got him. This
I've
guy's
played
telling me he
ball.
didn't know,
I've
bro.
played
That's a
ball.
lie, bro.
So many different places that I didn't
Yeah,
always know the scouting report. So like
yeah,
for me, it's just like like what I like about Memphis and their approach is that like they're they're bringing the fight, they're bringing the dog, and like I feel
yeah.
like that's what basketball's got to be more about because like I heard this the other day. I think it was I don't know if it was Richard Jefferson, but or maybe it was Al Harrington. I think it was maybe him, but he said like LeBron is the big brother of the league right now. Everybody's too buddy buddy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
What happened to the days when the Detroit Pistons, yo, if they hit Jordan to the ground, yo, hold that. We're hitting you again.
Yeah.
But now it's like, yo, you know what? LeBron hits Kyrie on the floor. LeBron's gonna pick him up because that's his former buddy. No, man, like bring the dog, man. Bring
Yeah.
that. I want all the smoke.
There's no friends on the court, is what you're saying, huh?
Friends, bro. Let's hoop. I
Yeah,
want
that's
this more
true.
than you.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
Back then, I
Chris,
used to.
who's
My bad. Yeah, what's the question?
whose approach to the game do you like the most? It could be a team or player. Who do you have?
Approach. Let's see. What do you mean by approach? Like how they? Oh,
Make it
I was-
Just the way to
I would say
just
that
the way to go about their business.
Memphis. I like Memphis. If they're shit talkers, I like those guys. I just like shit talking. I do it these days. It's actually amazing. It just makes the game just so much more fun.
Much better.
Knowing that you actually have to back up what you're saying. Your name's on the line.
And let's be honest, as fans, that's what we want to see. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for example, like even with
Yeah.
KD and Kyrie, they're going to Philly. You guys saw in the post game interview?
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're kind of like, like they're like kind of being subtle. Like, no, like KD, yo, yeah, he left. I'm gonna bust his ass.
Yeah, that's what the people want to hear, man.
So that's what it is.
Yeah.
What about you, CJ?
I'm gonna go with the Brooklyn Nets. I like the approach as far as like they bring like
Bro, they don't play defense. How would you like that approach?
I like their approach as far as like they have a pure hooper mentality. Like they just want a ball. Like yo, I can do a tween through the back, behind the legs, 360 layup. Like give the
Yeah.
rest like I can face you up, no dribble, and just look at your eyes and jumper. Like they just like they make basketball look like art. You know?
Yeah,
I feel like
I see what you're saying.
also I feel like they really embody like Brooklyn as a city, as a town. Like just that, that swag and that charisma which they carry themselves with. It's just artsy basketball, and I can appreciate that. I feel like what you guys said about the Memphis Grizzlies and their grit and grind mentality is probably the best show in NBA by far. For me,
Yeah.
it's Brooklyn Nets after that. Just that artsy type of basketball, that artsy vibe.
Yeah.
No, don't
I
say
like
like
that.
Memphis though, man. Bro,
What's
I
that?
have a story with me and you about shit talking. We couldn't back it up, me and you. Are you forgetting?
Who that? Me and you, Chris?
Yeah, you remember that hoop session we had?
Oh yeah, shit. Things happen. You know what I mean?
We'll
Things
not
happen.
get into it. You know the
But that's also part of shit talking too. It's like, yo, when you talking shit and you get showed up, it's looking the other man in the eye, like, I'm gonna come back for you. There's
Yeah.
gonna be runs next week, so take this win. I'm gonna come back for you. Like,
Yeah,
it's
you're
not
right.
done. It's not done. You know what I mean? I
too
have no
bad
shame. I have no
CJ
shame.
hasn't came back yet. He's been ghost ever since.
I had some prior arrangements to take last week.
Yep,
I'll be
yep.
back. I'll be back. They know my name. They know my name. They know my name.
I don't think
get
you
to the
do.
next-
But
All right. You guys want to do one more question before we wrap it up? I feel like
Yeah, one more.
we've gone to some good time here. Do you guys want to revisit the top 75 players of all time?
I think that's too
Um,
long, to be honest.
Yeah, let's go down to who did you idol your game after growing up as a kid?
Yeah.
All right, that's a good one. Chris, you want to start us off?
Yeah. It's gonna be an unexpected one. I'll have to say, Paul Pierce. Wow, that guy just has a. The thing is, I was never too fast growing up. I was always on the slower side, not too athletic. So I had to reach, really reach into that bag. Unfortunately, there was not much in the bag, but I tried,
Paul Pierce, that's a good one. That's a good one, man. Paul
Yeah.
Pierce, man, that guy. No, I think he taught everybody how to play basketball. That's like not a
real.
lot of people can say that. You know what I
You
mean?
think so?
Yeah, like you could go
100%.
watch Paul Pierce tape and be like,
Yeah.
anybody can do that.
Yeah, and nah, I wouldn't say anybody, but
But give or take, more than any other
Yeah.
players in the NBA at a
Yeah.
high level. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So that's a good one. That's a really, really good one. What about you, CJ?
You already know, man.
I think I know this one.
You already know, man. Tracy McGrady, man. Two-time
Wow.
NBA scoring champ.
Wow.
It's just his game is just immaculate.
Can you
sit
go
here
over his
talking
game a
about
little
that.
bit? I actually didn't get to watch Tracy McGrady too much.
Yo, CJ, give us a little
How
breakdown on
yeah, break
Tracy
down his
McGrady.
game a little bit.
All right, so we all know Kevin Durant. We've been raving about him through this podcast. Kevin Durant, his idol, he looked up to Tracy McGrady. That's where he got his whole swag.
Wow,
That's where
I
he got
never
his
knew
whole
that.
swag from. That's where he got his whole game from. The little Kevin Durant pull up from with the left from
That's
three.
Tracy's move.
He got that from Tracy McGrady. He got that
What?
from Tracy McGrady. The only
KB's an
difference is
imposter?
Tracy McGrady would elevate maybe 12 feet in the air when he did it. That's about it. But yeah, Tracy McGrady. A lot of guys idolize his game. 3-level scorer, 6'8", 6'9", can handle the ball. Was one of the first real like tall shooting guards that were running the pick and roll game in the early 2000s. Before that,
Wow.
it was strictly just point guards. Tracy McGrady was one of those guys that broke that mold and got that revolution going in the NBA. So my guy Tracy McGrady, man, it's my favorite player to
So
watch
what
growing up.
did he just get injured basically? That's why?
What's that?
Like why is he not talked about more? Is it because of his injuries?
Yeah, his prime was kind of short lived, and yeah, his decline was took forever. It seemed like he had like a 4-year prime and an 8-year decline. And ultimately he never won a championship. So you know, it is what it is. You have guys in his class like Paul Pierce, you just mentioned, won a championship. Kobe Bryant,
Yeah.
Iverson, he went to the finals. So other guys in his class ultimately had greater team success. That's why they get talked about more, and he's kind of in their shadows. But yeah, that was my guy growing up, Tracy
Did he
McGrady.
ever have like a high chance of winning the championship any year?
I feel like he was a product of a lot of poor executive decisions. Because every day I'm hearing stories now about how they could have had Tim Duncan on the Orlando Magic team,
Yes.
or how Shaquille O'Neal could have returned back to Orlando, but the management
Oh
was being
wow.
stupid. So he just put it all out there, and they just couldn't get him the right help. He had Grant
Yeah.
Hill on his team. Grant Hill got hurt, so
I heard.
I have
he
a
was just a
question.
product of just. Yeah,
Do
go
you,
ahead.
do you think if Shaq went back with Tracy, would have been more dominant than him and Kobe?
I feel like they would have been on par. I wouldn't say more dominant. It would have been on par with that, because there
Mm,
was a time where Tracy McGrady was better than Kobe Bryant. There was a good
interesting.
2 seasons in there that he was better. Now, ultimately, Kobe bossed up and he said, "Nah, I'm not having it," and he went
Could
on
you
his run.
say
Right?
what year for the people?
I'll putting me on the spot. I want to say 03, 04.
Okay.
Those 2 years, yeah.
Make
Tracy
sure you
McGrady was.
blame this guy in the comments saying this guy's better
Yeah,
than Kobe
fact
Bryant.
check me. Fact check me and let me know, man.
Because you know who Kobe
Uh,
Bryant is? That's a bold statement. That's a bold statement there, buddy.
no, he was better. He was better. And Kobe Bryant's always said that. He's the
Yeah.
T-Max, the guy that he had the most trouble guarding, right? Up
Yeah.
until Kevin Durant. So, yeah, you already know what that is. Jay, who's your guy?
Oh man. Actually, I want to first say I can testify to Tracy McGrady being your not just your favorite player, but trying to replicate all his moves in the backyard and trying to kill me with this guy's moves. Man, this guy, bro, everything he did thought he was Tracy McGrady. This guy was 6'3", no Tracy McGrady, but he was trying. I never seen a man. I swear to you, man. I'm like, yo. Some days I'm like, yo, where this guy getting his game after? Because at our time, nobody was doing one dribble pull-ups. But CJ had this in his inventory, like it was the way to play basketball, the only way to play basketball. Pull up, left, right, pull up. That's the way. You know what's crazy is he taught me the game like that. He taught me, yo, you got to use this jab. But little did I know, it was from Tracy McGrady. He's like, you got to get open and then hang and then hit down. You know. So that's nice to see. Nice to see still. No, a lot of guys went into my game growing up as a kid. I remember, I don't know CJ if you remember this, but one week we spent some time working on Brandon Roy, game winner. The game winner.
Yeah.
It was a half court heave basically, but I remember CJ telling me you gotta get your legs into it. Get your legs underneath you and let it guy.
Yeah.
You know? So I remember I'm like every time I shoot from deep now, that always comes into my head. It's like, yo, before Curry, I was doing this with Brandon Roy. That was my
Yeah.
guy. But y'all know, man. I was rocking with D Rose since time, man. I had Derrick Rose shoes, Derrick Rose free throw routine, Derrick Rose
Yeah.
approach. So I loved everything about him. The biggest thing was like just his humble attitude. I was like, yo, I can relate to this guy. When he had that interview, he says, "Why can't I be MVP?" I was like, "Why can't I do something? Why can't I go be great?" So I was like, "Yo, let me work on my layup package. Let me attack the rim and be explosive." And yeah, man. I mean, I sent Chris the highlights the other day. He has a layup from like behind the backboard. I was like, "Yo, that's what I'm trying to do out there." So, Derrick Rose, man, he's elite.
Alrighty, man. This has been fun, guys. This has been lots
Yeah.
of fun. I'm glad that we got to have a little fun and talk about our personal favorite players and all of that at the end. Any final takes? Anything we should do at the end before we wrap this up?
Let's leave with Chris. Boom. Who's your MVP race? 1, 2, 3, go.
1, 2, 3. That's a hard question, man. I have to think about it. 1, 2, 3.
Actually, no.
KD.
Look, let's
KD
let's
on his
table that
Joker.
discussion for next episode.
All right.
Fudge.
Let's table that. Let's table that.
Yeah.
This guy said KD. All right. Anyways,
You gotta say KD.
do some research first, Chris. Do some research.
Yeah, I gotta come back to. I'll
say
be
to
ready
this
next
thing.
time. Can you put me
Yeah,
on the
we'll-
spot?
we'll-
1, 2, 3. That's an insane question.
We'll start off next episode with that topic. I'm guessing we already talked about the Brooklyn Nets Philadelphia 76ers game that's going on tonight,
Yeah.
as just before we record or after we
Who
record.
do you have? Nuggets versus Warriors.
Nuggets versus Warriors. Chris or Kadre, tell me.
Jokic.
Yep, I got
Okay.
Jokic.
Is Draymond Green back
No.
Yeah, he's back next week.
next week? Okay,
Yeah, March
Gonna
14th.
go with Jokic.
Yeah.
Gonna go with Jokic. Hopefully, Porter and what's his name again? The Canadian Murray. Jamal Murray. Sorry for disrespect. Yeah, hopefully they come back because
Any
those
return
guys
date
have
on those
some-
guys, or?
I'm hearing they're cleared. I heard Porter was cleared to play, and Murray is in the rumbles. He's getting ready.
Wow.
One thing I noticed about the NBA now that they're doing is they're just doing like these injury updates, but like they're not really trying to show nobody what's going on. It's like, oh, he's back tonight. He went for 4 weeks, so he's back tonight. How? So,
Did you see Kevin Durant at the All-Star game, the interview? Ernie
Yeah,
during the draft. Yeah, Ernie Johnson asked him about his injury update, and Kevin was like, "Nah,
yeah.
nah, can't give you anything right now. When you see
Don't
me,
want
you see
nobody with
top 50." All right, let's wrap this up, man. It's been a pleasure, guys. So
Yep.
just for the viewers and listeners to know, this will be a weekly thing. Am I right? Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
It'll be a weekly thing. The date or what day of the week will drop is yet to be determined, but we'll update everybody on that.
Yep.
This has been Game Speed Podcast. Kadre, Chris, CJ. We out.
We out, y'all.
Okay, then.
All right.